And so when they had horsed the kings, again they drew them all. They had taken that day. The meanwhile came in Sir Ector with an eager countenance, and found Ulfius and Brastias on foot, in great peril of death, that were found foiled under horse feet. Then Arthur, as a lion, ran into King Crowdmint of North Wales, and smote through the left side that the horse, and the king fell down, and then took the horse by the rein, and led him unto Ulfius, and said, Have this horse, mine old friend, so for great need hast thou of horse. Gramercy said, Ulfius, then Sir Arthur did so marvellous in arms, that all men have wondered, when the king with the 100 knights saw King Crowdmint on foot, he ran unto Sir Ector that was well horsed. Sir Kay's father, and smote horse, and ran down, and gave the horse unto the king, and horsed him again. And when King Arthur saw the king ride on Sir Ector's horse, he was wroth, and with his sword he smote the king on the helm, that a quarter of the helm and shield fell down, and so the sword carved down the horse's neck, and so the king and the horse fell down into the ground. Then Sir Kay unto Sir Morganor sent his fell, but the king of the 100 knights, and smote him down, horse and man, and led the horse unto his father Sir Ector. Then Sir Ector ran into a knight, hight Lardanes, and smote horse and man down, and led the horse unto Sir Brastias. That great need had of that horse was greatly befoiled, and Brastias beheld Lucas the butler, that lay like a dead man under the horse's feet, and ever Sir Griflet did marvellously for to rescue him. And there were always 14 knights on Sir Lucas, and then Brastias smote one of them on the helm, that it went to the teeth, and he rode to another and smote him, that the arm flew into the field. Then he went to the third and smote him on the shoulder, that the shoulder and arm flew in the field. And with Griflet saw rescues, he smote the knight on the temples that had in helm went to earth. And Griflet took the horse of that knight, and led him unto Sir Lucas, and bade him mount upon the horse and revenge his hurts, for Brastias had slain a knight tofore, and horse Griflet. Chapter 15. Yet the same battle. Then Lucas saw King Agwiance that late and slain Boris de la approach, and Lucas ran to him with a short spear that was great, that he gave him such a fall, that the horse fell down to the earth. Also Lucas found there on foot Royas de la Flanders and Sir Guenias, 2 hardy knights, and the woodness that Lucas was in, he slew 2 bachelors, and horsed them again. Then waxed the battle passing hard on both parties, but Arthur was glad that his knights were horsed again, and that they fought together, that the noise and sound rang by the water and wood, where 14 men and King Bors made them ready, and dressed their shields and harness, and they were so courageous that many knights shook and weaved for eagerness. And as while Lucas and Guenas and Briant and Belias of Flanders held strong medley against the 6 kings, that was King Lot, King Nenfis, King Brandegors, King Idris, King Uriens, and King Agwiance. So with the help of Sir Kay and Sir Griflet, they held their 6 kings hard, that beneath they had power to defend them. But when Sir Arthur saw the battle would not be ended by no manner, he fired wood as a lion, and steered his horse here and there, on the right hand and on the left hand, that he stinted not till he had slain 20 knights. Also he wounded King Lot a sore on the shoulder, and made him to leave that ground. For Sir Kay and Griflet did wish King Arthur their great deeds of arms, and Ulfius and Brastias and Sir Ector encountered against the Duke Eustace, and King Crowdmint, and King Variance of Northern Numberland, and King Carlos, and against the king of the 100 knights. So these knights encountered with these kings, that they made them to avoid ground. Then King Lot made a great dole for his damages in his fellows, and said unto the 10 kings, But if ye will do as I advise, we shall be slain and destroyed. But let me have the king with the 100 knights, and King Agwiance, and King Idris, and the Duke of Cambridge, and we 5 kings will have 15,000 men of arms with us, and we will go apart, while ye 6 kings hold medley with 12,000, and we see that ye have 14 with them long, then will we come on fiercely, and else shall we never match them. Said King Lot, but by this mean they departed as they had advised, and 6 kings made their party strong against Arthur, and made great war long. In the meanwhile great ambushment of King Dan and King Bors and Leonidas and Variance had the vanguard. And the 2 knights met with King Idris and his fellowship. There began a great medley of breaking of spears and smashing of swords, of slaying of men and horses. And King Idris was near at discomfort, that saw against the king and Leonidas and Variance and points of the death. For the Duke of Cambridge came on with a great fellowship. So these 2 knights were in great danger of their lives, and were fain to return, but always they rescued themselves in their fellowship marvelously. When King Bors saw those knights spread back, he grieved him sore when he came on so fast. His fellowship seemed as black as Indy. When King Lot had spied King Bors, he knew him well. Then he said, O Jesu, defend us from death and horrible names, for I see well we be in great peril of death. For I see yonder a king, one of the most worshipfullest men, and one of the best knights of the world, is inclined unto his fellowship. What is he to the king with the 100 knights? It is, said King Lot, King Bors of all. I marvel how they came into this country without witting of us all. It was by Merlin's advice, said the knight. As for him, said the King of Carlos, I will encounter King Bors, and you will rescue me when Mr. is. Go on, said they all. We will do all that we may. Then the King Carlos and his host rode on soft pigs till they came as nigh King Bors as though brought. Then either battle let their horse run as fast as they might, and Lugaveris that was godson from the King Bors, he read his chief standard that was a passing good knight. Now we see, said King Bors, how these northern Britons can bear the arms, and King Bors encountered with a knight, and smote him through with a spear, that he fell dead unto the earth, and after drew his sword, and did marvellous deeds of arms, that all parties had great wonder thereof, and his knights failed not, but their parts, and King Carlos was smitten to the earth. With that came the king with 100 knights, and rescued King Carlos mightily by force of arms, for he was a passing good knight of the king, but a young man. Chapter 16. Yet more of the same battle. By them came into the field King Ban, as fierce as a lion, with bands of green, and thereupon gold. Ha, ha, said King Lot, they must be discomfited. Far yonder I see the most valiant knight of the world, and the man of the most renown, for such 2 brethren as is King Ban and King Bors are not living, wherefore we must needs avoid or die, but if we avoid mainly and wisely, there is but death. When King Ban came into battle, he came in so fiercely that the strokes redounded again from the wood and the water, wherefore King Lot wept for pity and dole that he saw so many good knights take their end. But through the great force of King Ban they made the northern battles that were departed hurtled together for great dread, and 3 kings and their knights slew on ever, that it was pity unto behold their multitude of the people that fled. But King Lot and King of the 100 knights and King Morganor gathered the people together passing nightly, and did great prowess of arms, and held eventful all that day like hard. When the king of the 100 knights beheld the great damage that King Ban did, he thrust unto him with his horse and smote him on high upon the helm, a great stroke, and astonied him sore. Then King Ban was wroth with him, forward on him fiercely. The other saw that, and cast up his shield, and spurred his horse forward. But the stroke of King Ban found his shield, and spurred his horse forward. The stroke of King Ban fell down, and carved a cancel of the shield, and the sword did slide down by the hauberk behind his back, and cut through the trapping of steel, and the horse even in two pieces. But that sword fell to the earth, and then King of the 100 knights voided the horse lightly with his sword. He broached the horse of King Ban, to throw and threw, with King Ban voided lightly from the dead horse, and King Ban smote at the other so eagerly.